Hello, everyone. It's so great to see you today. Thank you so much for joining me on this early Saturday morning. This is Delia of blogformatting.com, and today's workshop will be about getting more blog traffic from Twitter. We all need that, right? We need to understand how to work with this social media programs better, so that we, in the end, can get more traffic to our blogs, more people reading our blogs, and get them to become followers, for loyal readers, and then in the end, possibly clients for the businesses that we are supporting with our blogs, right? So, without further ado, actually, let me just mention that for those of you who do not know me, I help women bloggers stay in their genius zone. This means that I really want to make you, feel so comfortable about blogging, so that it's just so easy for you. The technical side is taken care of. The way of getting online and getting more visibility for your blog is also being taken care of. So what you want to do is to just get in, write your blogs, get your message out there, and I feel doing it in a really great way that makes you feel good about yourself and about the people that you want to serve. With that, a little bit of logistics. We are on Google Hangout on Air, which is a broadcast, so you cannot actually talk back to me, but what you can do is to review the links that I posted in there. Obviously, watch this broadcast live. It will be after it is finished. It will be available, I think, within an hour or so. If you missed it, the video recording is available at the same link, but I'll send an email just in case you forget, so that you have the link there for you to look at it. And what I want about this, and there's also on the right side, I forgot to mention, there is a Q&A section that I've enabled, and you can post questions in there. If I have time, because I have a really fully packed session today, if I have time, I will get to those questions, but most likely, as it happened in the past, what I did was to go in there and answer to your questions after the fact. So come back and see that those questions are going to be answered. Okay, so as I said, it's going to be a very hands-on session in which I will share my screen to show you what I want to show you. And what we will do is to start with few of the things that I wanted to talk to you about. So hopefully everybody can see my Twitter window over here. I hope so. And I will go over the things that are very, very important to make sure that you get more traffic to your blog through Twitter. And I have my notes over here. Just I want to make sure that I don't forget anything that I'm planning to tell you. We have I'm going to go through 3 set it and forget it tips, and take forget it a little bit loosely, because you still have to comment from time to time, check that the information is still okay, and it is accurate as of the time that you are checking it. So there might be a bit of maintaining that information in place that you need to do from time to time, but you're a blogger, so you're you're writing content all the time, so you already know about all this. Second thing that we're going to be discussing, or second module of this workshop, will be about 3 mistakes that you may be making when you are tweeting. That is, those 3 mistakes are actually preventing you from getting people to click on the links that you are putting on Twitter, getting to your blog and reading your information. So there's going to be 3 mistakes. And I have 5 tips for you to make your time spent on Twitter worthwhile, and also getting more traffic to your blog through Twitter. So we'll see as much as we can. We'll cover in here, and I will always, maybe create a video about it, or write a blog post on my blog. So let's get to it. We are right on time to start with the set it and forget it tips. So I hope that you see my Twitter account over here, actually twitter.com. And because I'm logged in with my Twitter account, you see the account on the left side. I think it's better for you to actually write down information and tips that you are hearing on a piece of paper while following this, and maybe then apply it to your account. I don't think it's going to be easy for you to apply while we speak, though you can try if you want. So if you look at this at your account, I just want you to take into account the following 3 tips, just to make sure that your Twitter account is all set up and ready to bring traffic to your blog. So whenever you click on any of those, it will bring you your account. And I think you're familiar with the new Twitter interface, really big, really nice, a bit huge if you're asking me, but you get used to it. So this is your account over here. And the profile, I want you to make sure that you really, really have this thing in here. You have a nice description of your Twitter account, of how you can help people with, and what your blog is about. And you have your blog listed, the URL of your blog is listed in your description over here, okay? So many times I see when I get new followers on Twitter, I check every day or so, every other day sometimes, and I'm looking at it, and I want to see, like, the description sounds really, really great, but there is no website or blog, and for me to check out for more information and to see. I'm really curious about blogs that people are writing. No wonder. So if I don't see the URL of the blog, there's no way for me to get there. So imagine other people that you are connecting with on Twitter. If they come, they check your account, but they don't see a URL for them to click to get to your blog, they will not be able to check out your blog and see what it is about. So very, very important to have it in here. There's also, you will see that there is a specific field for the URL of your blog, and definitely use that as well over here. But as I mentioned before, so you enter it here in your URL box. I'll open a little bit the profile so that you can see how it would look when you actually update it or modify it if you haven't already. But I really recommend that you have it in here in your description as well. And this description has a maximum number of characters. I forgot what it was, but whenever you, if you write this and you're going over, Twitter will let you know that you cannot use any more characters. So it is tricky because you have to keep it short and to the point, and it is at the same time, it has to make sense, but your blog URL, please make sure that you have it in here. And I've seen many times, you could put a link to something else if you want. You could have one to your Facebook page, but again, know that you're actually sending people to your Facebook page and you're not sending them to your blog. Or you could have a link to a free offer, direct link to the free offer on your site, and that is fine too. I tend to change my offers from time to time. I have some offers, and other times I have I come and offer, I've decided to offer something new, and then this why, so that I don't forget to come in here and check, right? We're just going back to the first tip where I said you have to check this from time to time to make sure that you are providing the you are having the link that you need over here, and it's not changed or anything. Maybe you've changed direction with your business, or maybe you moved your blog, or you have a new website now, or whatever the reason might be. It's good from time to time to come and check to make sure that this information is correct. I used to have here actually a shortened URL, a bit.ly URL directly to my freebie, but I think that, and reading more about marketing, that is a link that not many people want to click on. So I think if you have the URL of your blog over here, that is gives more trust, so to speak, inspires more trust for people to click on it than if you have just a link over there that they wouldn't really know where it goes to. So this is about, and I said that I will be, so when you are over here with your Twitter profile logged in, you can click edit profile if you want to make the changes that I was explaining, and this allows you to go in here. You see, once you created your Twitter username, you cannot change it. You can only change the name over here if you want. And then this is, it doesn't really say anymore, description, website, and location, but this is how it looks like over here. Is where you add your description. Here you can put your location, you can say online, and over here it is your blog site, your blog URL. So once you did that, I'm going to actually cancel it over here because I haven't done any changes to my profile as of now. So once you did that, make sure that you make a note together with your other tasks that you're doing maybe every 6 months or so. Just come here and be sure that you are updating this and you're keeping it updated. And I want to show you actually, just to give you like really an example of why it is not good not to have those. Negation of the negation. If you look at the followers here, right, as I said, from time to time, every other day or so, I come in here and I check to see what new followers I have and if I want to follow them back or look at other ways to engage and to connect with people on Twitter. So we are looking at descriptions. For example, if I see a description over here, I don't know, whether I want to follow this person back. They don't have a website that I can check. I really want to check out a little bit more before I decide whether I follow someone. So just know that this happens to you as well. Just imagine that your profile is here on somebody's followers list, and they will check out to see whether they want to connect with you or not. And this is actually a very good example of another profile where it, apart from the fact that it's, I guess, over here is selling Twitter followers, but this is what I was mentioning about having a URL that is not a real URL, right? It's a shortened URL, so people will have doubts whether to click on it and get to see what this is about. This is an example of a Twitter account with sending to Facebook. If this is something that you're working on at this point, that's fine, but the purpose of what we're discussing today is to get more traffic to your blog. So I want your blog URL to be right there, and I'm just trying to find an example of places where it is really, really good the way it is provided. But I think you got the idea that I like to see the URL over here. And people might click for more information to check it out, but they might not. So the better you have over here in the short description, then this is where they make the fast decision whether to follow you or not. And there was like these were the two ones that I wanted to talk to you about. The URL here and here. The third tip is the images. Please pay lots of attention to the images that you are using for your Twitter profile. You will have this banner image over here, and you have your profile image. I get the question all the time whether is it better to use a logo or is it better to use the actual profile picture. And I see and I connect better, and I think many of you too connect better if they see an image, an actual photo of the owner of the Twitter account. So I really recommend you do this rather than having a logo, unless there's, you know, a company, or it might not be, you might not be the only, you might be working with a team. You could be the voice of that business and team, by the way, and have your profile picture over here, but you can decide, you may decide that you want to have a logo over here because you're working as a team of people, or maybe there's a partnership and whatnot. So important this over here, you know, good quality of the image, of course, nice smiling image, you know, big enough. Also, sometimes the images that I see used as profiles are just so hard to read. They're just kind of small, and like this is a very good image. It is big enough, and you can see what this is about. This over here, you know, other than the fact that it's also a logo, I don't really make sure in this layout, because we tend to look at the way it looks over here when it's big and nice. We don't see detail, but or on a mobile device. And imagine how small these are on a mobile device. They have to be easy to spot. You have to have details on that. And this one, again, if you have a tagline that you're using, or something else that is really representative for your business and for your blog, please do so and use it over here, rather than using it, you know, just a random image, or here when you see it's just the background. There's no image at all. It's you know, it's bad if you have this opportunity, right? It's a pity not to use it if you're having this real estate here to have more people connecting with you on Twitter. So those are the 3 tips, and I have just time to quickly review them. The URLs of your blog, don't forget to have them there, nicely introduced in the description in the field URL, and make sure that you have nice images that you are using, that they're clear enough, that they're good quality, that there are representative for your business and for your blog, and you know, no wonder have, first of all, upload an image over there, and you'll find lots of tutorials online. I even have some videos that they explain how to upload an image to your Twitter profile. So there's really no reason not to. Just find what you want, put an image out there, and you know, go out and connect with people who want to read your blog and know what this is about. And with this, before I go on to the mistakes and the tips, I want to share a new workshop that I will be having next week. It is a paid workshop. You will see the link to it. It's on the right side of this broadcast. When you either it's hard for you to check it right now, don't do it. But after the after we finish, or if you review the video as a recording, or if you want to go back and check it, by the way, it is there for you, so you can check it even tomorrow if there's some things that you wanted to look at a little bit more detail before they, you know, you understand them better, and to work. As I said, you can work based on the video as an example, and you just work directly on your profile. So if you want to work with me in a more intimate, I would say, setting, it is a small group of people that we're going to be working on, and we're going to be discussing about all the social media profiles. And by all, I actually mean we're focusing on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Again, I will be giving, other than the tips that I will be presenting at the beginning, it's an hour workshop. There will be also a review of your choice for all the participants. You will have one of your online profiles reviewed by me with tips that are actually just apply to you, because most of the time we just get too many tips that are very general. But if you want tips that apply to you in particular for your account and for what you're trying to achieving, I will do that. So at your choice, you will get either for Facebook, for Twitter, or for Pinterest a review of it, and then there will be a lucky participant will get a free workshop for one of my future workshops, because I run those every 2 weeks. So a future workshop which will be about something different. Everything is blogging and social media related. I don't teach about anything else. So look for that, check for that. It will be in the email that I sent out afterwards as well. And if you're interested, go ahead and register for it, and I will be super, super happy to work with you. With this being said, we're just going to go back to our mistakes. Let me just have very quick check here, and I will be coming back in a minute. Oh, I'm happy that this is working fine. We had a few problems in the past with it, but not anymore. It's all good. Okay, so let me just get a sip of coffee. And let's continue on with the mistakes. Now, the mistakes that I'm going to be presenting right now to you will be related not necessarily to the way your account is set up, but to the stuff that you're tweeting, right? So we're really getting now into the juicy details of what are we tweeting about, what is this Twitter. You could be, I'm guessing nobody on this workshop is extremely versed in Twitter. Otherwise, to this, you would know about all this stuff already. But if you, more than likely, you're either beginner in tweeting, or you are probably there's always room for improvement and wanting to learn more. So I'll give you a few mistakes that I'm seeing over and over again. And one of the mistakes is that for tweeting your blog posts, most of the time, if not the majority of us, so to speak, and I was doing it at the beginning as well, is that we do not tweet, we do not put out as many tweets as we need for a new blog post that we are creating. So I actually have a tutorial about the way I, the way I process, so to speak, the blog post that a new blog post that I'm publishing and the way I share it on social media. This covers more than Twitter, but today and right now I will be focusing on Twitter only, and I want to talk to you about how and how much is too much, how many tweets are too many, and so on, because I find that too many times people feel bad about tweeting too much. They think that the tweets are bothering people, or your followers, spamming even, and so on. And I want to take a different approach on this, and I want to actually tell you that it is okay to tweet your tweets out there. Whoever decided to follow you will continue to follow you, will look at your tweets. And one thing that nobody is actually just looking and reading the entire stream, right? So let me just give you, over here, if you want to see how many tweets there could be in here. I definitely do not spend my day looking at all these tweets and reading everything that I have over here. People have their way of filtering. See, there's just tweet coming, and this probably you'll see soon enough another tweet, a new tweet, and a new tweet, right? There's just so many tweets that are sent out every second. So don't feel that because of your tweeting 10 more tweets than normal, you're gonna spam someone and you're gonna be like, oh my god, what are they gonna say, and all that. You are there to connect with people, share useful content of your own and of other people as well. But again, you are there to share the blog post that you are having and writing and publishing so that people know about them. Otherwise, how would they know, right? So with that in mind, I will want to share with you the way you should be, or I recommend, to share your blog posts. So if you have, you know, a blog post that you've published, how many times you're supposed to tweet it? Okay, many people just tweet it once, believe it or not. Yeah, it's just, you know, up there, or even they forget to do it as well. You have to do it yourself. Even if you work with a group of people that are sharing your content, maybe commenting, maybe you're in a commenting system. By the way, I have a blog commenting weekend every weekend on my blog. You can come and check it out. It's completely free. And you are, oh, sweet, just getting on Twitter a message that Paula is listening to this workshop. That's great. It means that it works. Okay, sorry, just going back to the tweeting. So if you have a blog post, and I just want to come in here, and on purpose, I will tell you that I haven't actually tweeted my latest blog post. And I'm going to go with this one, and not necessarily the blog commenting weekend. I can show that to you as well. But I want to say to you, let's start with a clean slate. Imagine this is your blog, and this is your latest blog post, and you are ready to share it with the world on Twitter. What do you do? Now, this is what I do. I tweet it from my blog once. Why do I do that? I want to see if this works. Most of the time it does. Yeah, you're probably gonna laugh. I'm going to take out this via blog formatting because I know it is being tweeted by me. But I want to, you know, send this out once just to also test my Twitter, my sharing plugin. Many times those just start not working anymore. So I would do this, and I would say, you know, I even use some hashtags over here. There's going to be some discussion about hashtags. And I'm going to tweet it, right? It's tweeted once. Okay, many of us, I'm not saying if that is you, it may be not. Many of us just stop here. Oh, I tweeted once, I guess, you know, everybody saw it. I guess they didn't like it, they didn't come to check it and all that. No, it's not that. It's just Twitter is such a huge ocean, if you want. And it could have been missed, right? Looky here. I'm going here and I look at my tweets. There were 70 tweets since we talked, right? Since 2-3 minutes ago, and I only actually follow 2,700 people. So imagine the ones that are following, I don't know, 10,000, hundreds of thousands. They will never see your tweet, right? So in order for you to be more productive with Twitter, and you have to get that blog post in front of you know, many people, and this means that you have to tweet it more than once. So then what I do, my recommendation is to tweet it every 2 hours. When a blog post is new and you just published it, you have to tweet it every 2 hours or so. So if you are, hopefully you can, I don't know if you can see my application over here, which is I use TweetDeck. There's going to be a link on your right here in the video recording on the right side, so you can actually use either that, or maybe use Hootsuite, or maybe you use CoSchedule, or maybe use another tool that you're using to schedule your tweets, because I want you to schedule tweets every 2 hours or so, at least every 2 hours or so for the first day. You have people following you on Twitter from you know, your side of the globe, or there could be from the other, right? So 24 hours, I want you to have coverage about the new blog post that you've published and send it out. So you'd send it out, as I said, out there I tweeted now, right? It's 9:30 approximately. You don't have to go, you know, crazy about the timing. But if I published it here at 9:30 in the morning, then I would go and get another tweet out there, and you basically just do it here. Sorry, that's another tweet that I had. I should have copied it, the other one. Okay, let me go back. I'm gonna start a tweet again over here and say I want to tweet this again as I was mentioning it to you. I just copied it over here. It depends. I'm on a Mac. If you are on Windows, you can use Control-C to copy. And then I would go back to my tweet deck here, because this is what I'm using. But as I said, you might be using a different scheduling tool, and that's fine. And I will be tweeting this again. Maybe I use a different hashtag. It's called blog help. And I'm scheduling this. So as I said, it's 9. I'm scheduling this at about 11:30 a.m. this morning, and I'm going to say tweet it. And it goes over here. It should go in the scheduled area of the let me just see. See, it's over here. It's just updated it for 11:30. And then I'm gonna create a new tweet, and I'm gonna say here, you know, create. You have to have it a little bit different as well. That's going to be part of the tips that I'm going to be presented. And maybe I will only use blog as a hashtag over here. Maybe I'm not using any hashtags, and I'm going to schedule this to be at 1 p.m. today, and so on until you reach about 24 hours. And more than that, then I'm going to be scheduling tweets over here for about a week or so until the cycle starts all over again. This is because I'm publishing a post every week or so, sometimes twice a week, but most of the time just once a week. So it is not extremely hard for me to do it. Now, you have to think about investing probably in a paid tool if you are blogging more than once a week, twice a week, because it could become you know, a little bit time consuming for you to do all these posts over here. Even if you schedule them to schedule like 20 tweets for every blog post that you are putting out, that might take some time. So, you know, take this advice, see how it goes, and see if you're getting more traffic from Twitter if you're using it this way, because I bet 90% of us could be tweeting a little bit more than your posts that we're getting out. And that is the tip one that I wanted, or the big mistake with the tip attached to it. The mistake was that you're not tweeting your blog post, you're not sharing it with the world on Twitter enough. You know, you're just doing it once or twice or maybe 3 times, and that's it. You're kind of done with it. You have to really do it a little bit more often for people to notice, okay? And don't be afraid of spamming people. Whoever wants to unfollow because they feel spammed, that could be people with 2-3 following 2-3 people, and for them it's excessive to see posts, but what they need to do is either to become more active on Twitter or you know, decide that they want to stay and take a look of your tweets because they like it. And if they don't, they don't, and that's fine. Okay, so I want you to get over your fear of bothering people by tweeting too much. And that was about tweeting a new blog post. So all in all, you're going to be tweeting it about, I would say, 20 times. 15, 20 times. How's that sound? I bet you hadn't tweeted that many times before. Okay, so going back to Twitter, mistake number 2. Let me just check the time. Okay, gotta move. Mistake number 2 is that you are not tweeting old posts. I bet that you are just, you know, tweeting one blog post at a time. You're tweeting it and it's done, maybe once or twice or whatever, and you forgot about the juicy, wonderful, useful information that you've posted on your blog, that some people who followed you maybe in the last week or so have no idea about, right? You wrote those posts maybe 2 years ago, maybe 1 year ago, maybe 1 month ago, but they weren't your followers over there. So definitely they missed it. Or even so, they were, and they've been your followers for a long time, but they just missed it for the first time that you shared. So with this, I come with tip number 2. You want to share those blog posts on Twitter, the old ones. And I recommend, okay, you might be having thousands of blog posts, and your question would be now, okay, which ones? Am I supposed to now start all over again and just, retweet every, the 8,000 blog posts that I have? No, you're going to take as much as you can, and you're going to go with the masterpiece, the way I want to call them. So you're going to go based on your traffic with the ones that are very considered, obviously, because they have so much traffic. They're considered very good by your readers, and there's likelihood that other readers will consider them as well. Some blog posts, let's be honest, happens to me all the time. I have some that weren't so good. We were hoping that they were just so wonderful, the way we wrote them, and spent so much time, and in the end published it and all that, but really nothing really happened when we published it. And those can stay. You know what? Don't remove them from your blog or anything, but you don't need to reshare them with the world. You can leave them the way they are. So how do you do that? The way I do it, I check the statistics on my blog. I hope that you're checking that. And every month or so, I go through those and I verify the ones that are top. I choose the top 10, 15 of them, and I schedule them, each of them every day on Twitter. And to keep track of that, I have a system, and you might be using it. You might be using something similar. You might decide to use something different, which is I have them in a document. These tweets saved, like they're really pre-made tweets that you can use. They're saved over there. So what I do is basically I just copy them, pasting them over on to my tweet deck, because this is the tool that I'm using for scheduling. Again, you might be using something else. Whatever you do, just keep a list of those. And I have, I think, 2, 4, 6. From time to time, I like to enter something about my free offer. So you'll see this from time to time, or asking people to join on Facebook. That is very useful as well. So whatever you decide, those are my top. Actually, this one I think is the top forever, adding a blog tab to your Facebook fan page. If you haven't done it, definitely want to check this out. It brings more traffic to you from Facebook, which is something we discussed in a previous workshop. So go ahead and create, if you haven't already, a document like that, because I want it to be easy for you to just copy and paste over here and onto your tool. So in my case, just to exemplify, I would take this. This is about my offer. So let me just go and take something about my actual blog post so that it's extremely useful to you, the example that I'm using. I would just copy it. I have a video about this, by the way, separately. Any questions that you have, please put them in there. From the way I look at the time, it doesn't look like I'll have time to answer any questions live, but please put any questions either in the Google Hangout Q&A, or as a comment in the Google Hangout, or as a comment on my Facebook page. I have a post about this event there as well. So I will get to those probably over the weekend. So I would just copy this text. As I said, it's a pre-made tweet, and I go on to my tool over here, and again, I just schedule it. And this goes nicely here. I'm scheduling it maybe for Sunday. It doesn't matter the time, right? I'm just scheduling it over here. I will go. It just refreshes a little bit harder, a little bit slower than usual. And I will go with the next one. And to be honest, it takes me 5 minutes to do this. Because once you do repeatedly the same task, you will see that it's really, really easy for you to do it. And I have it all in here. I have it with hashtags and all that. I just do a few clicks in here. and I have a full list over here. My scheduled tab column was empty just for the purpose I knew I had this hangout with you guys today. Thanks, Jill. She's saying she loves my hangout. Thank you. It is. It was empty over here because I wanted to have stuff to show to you live. I want these tips to actually, I want you to understand that the tips that I'm providing to you, and I hope that you see it this way, are really things that you can use. It's really nothing prevents you from doing exactly what I'm doing right here, because I'm just showing you live the way I'm doing it. It's not, you know, a boring presentation that I had beforehand and I prepared for you and I'm just feeding it to you. I'm just actually doing everything right here with you live. Okay, super cool. So this was the second mistake about not tweeting old posts, and I told you how with the tool that you have and with keeping a separate document with the tweets, and again, review those tweets from time to time and update them with what you need, because you might want to drop some of the older blog posts that you don't want to highlight anymore. You will be adding new ones, right? I mean, there's going to be new blog posts that you're going to be writing, so you'll add those to your list, and then some of the other ones might go. And if you can take 20 and schedule 20, that's fine. But just do, if there's just 5 that you can, because this is what the time that you have dedicated to social media on Twitter allows you, just do 5. It's still going to be way better than not doing any of this, okay? Number 3 is a, I would say, beginner mistake, mistake-ish kind of thing. I actually used to do it, and sometimes without realizing it, I'm doing it as well, is if you are using the entire tweet. If you're using the entire characters, you know, there's a limit of characters that you can use in a tweet. If you use them all in your tweet, or if your blog post, when it's tweeted, goes out using almost all the characters in a tweet, then there will be no space for people to retweet it, because when people retweet, it comes out with RT and then your URL, your account name. In my case, it will be RT add blog formatting, retweet blog formatting. My account itself is pretty long, and many of you might have a quite longer account name, and then that uses from the number of characters as well. And what happens when people will try to retweet that, they will not be able to, because they will go over the limit. And what will they do? Some of them are going to be removing some characters so they can still tweet your information, but some of them will be, oh well, I tried. Yes, I don't have time to stay in here. I thought it would be just a quick click of retweeting or tweeting from their blog post and all that, but they kind of making me work more than I need to. So I'll say I won't do it today. So be careful with that. Be careful when, that's why it's important to test your Twitter plugin. As I said, do a tweet, or every time you publish a new post, it's a good opportunity for you to test the Twitter button from your blog directly, see if it goes out, see if it's not too long. Maybe you've put a very, very long title of your blog post, and then when it goes out, obviously as a tweet, it will use all that, a number of characters. So it might be reusing it and might be going over. It's going to be next to impossible for people to retweet or to tweet your post. So could be a beginner mistake that you never been doing, and or it might be news to you that you need to. The recommendation is to actually stay within 120 characters so that you allow for retweet. There might be other people retweeting the retweet of someone, so this adds more characters. So I'm not saying now you have to go with 2-3 characters. That's not going to be possible to allow 1,000 people to retweet your blog post, but you know, just there's always a balance on everything. So recommendation to stay within 120. Okay, super duper. So this was the tweet deck, and I told you there is a link over there in the presentation. Go ahead and use that link if you want to. We're going to close that. I'm going to close the document that I have over here. You can use a Word document, whatever you want. Use URL shortener all the time so that these are not so long, and then you're all set, and you can get to tweeting a little bit more of your blog posts. Okay, a little sip of water for everybody. And we have 15 more minutes for the tips. Tips. I'm going to share with you some tips that are related to the mistakes that we talked about, and some there are really new things. And I'm going to go again onto my account because I want to show you with examples of my own tweets that I'm using, and these are one of the top tips that I see is that when you tweet out something, it gets, some people will won't notice it. Some people will respond to some call to actions. Some people will respond to other call to actions. So it's always good to vary the way you introduce that tweet out. So if you were talking about a blog post that you published, and this blog post is about back to school, right? It's just something that's been popular these days. You can tweet once, the way I said that you would be tweeting, about 20 times when you publish that blog post. So you'll tweet once and maybe just use the exact title of the blog post. That's perfectly fine. Now, next time you want to vary a bit when you create the next tweet, and you would be saying, you would be saying, I guess back to school, it's back to school now, or just something different, check out this for tips. Or you could come with a third tweet and have you done your back to school shopping yet? Check for tips here. Of course, you have to make sure that the introduction that you are using is related to the post. You're not going to come and say something totally different. When people click on their post, you're going to lose your credibility. If when they click on their post, they actually find something totally different, they will probably unfollow and they will say, what's the deal here? But if you are just varying with different keywords, hashtags even, and different ways of writing out a blog post, tweeting it out, then you have more chances that this will speak to some people, this will speak to other people, so more people will click. And this combined with the many tweets that you are sending out is going to be just great for you. So try it out. Look at some tweets that I have over here. Okay, let me just give you a very quick example of two things. I have this here, which is actually, it's not about a blog post. It's about this workshop that we're having now. But just to see the what I'm trying to exemplify here is, I have this over here where I say free workshop, get blog traffic, blah blah blah, register now, like a call to action over here. And this one in here is pretty similar, and in fact it's actually coming from Facebook, but it's really good for our example, is to say, who's having coffee with me this morning? Grab your pen and come in. And it is actually pointing to this same thing. So it is saying the same thing, but in a different way. And I'm sure I have other ones down here when I talk about this free workshop that I'm having. So so this tip, I want you to have it and use it, is to use different introductions when you are tweeting out information, so that more people, so that you speak to more people, different audiences, still your audience that would want to connect with you, but they get, oh, I'll click to see what that is. That sounds interesting. Okay. Number two, the tip number two is to look at to get ideas. Actually, it's related to tip number one. To get ideas of what you may be using and what speaks to people, is to look at the best tweets. And did you know that this wonderful, wonderful Twitter interface now lets you do this in a very awesome way? And it is that the bigger the font of your tweet that you see in here, it means that more people connected with it and more people retweeted it, looked at it, clicked on it. Another way, engaged. You know, this engagement word that encompasses many things. A tweet like this over here, it is like, you know, if you see the font is a bit smaller, it's really interesting. Isn't that just awesome? I don't know if you knew about this thing, about the new interface on Twitter. So this over here, see, this created more interaction. It's in a bigger font. It's just easy for you to spot this out. And when you look at those, then you'll know, okay, I guess this way, you know, missed pros and cons, probably. There's just some wording that definitely speaks to people. So use this to your advantage. See when this happens and write down in your list of tweets that you would be tweeting, write down this information. Don't count on you remembering, okay? Write down everything. Number 3 is to use the pinned tweet. And I left it over here. I had this tweet pinned over here for everybody to see if they came to your account. And when this works really well, when you get new followers. So I've been actually working on getting new followers with some Twitter following that is happening in different groups. So if you are part of some of those groups, SITS Girls is one of them. If you are, we're probably, many of you are women bloggers here on this call, because this is who I speak to, but they could be men too. I don't want to, you know, be rude to gentlemen. This tips, almost 99% of them apply to gentlemen as well. But for the SITS group over there, there are Twitter, you know, connecting parties and, you know, other ways of connecting with people on Twitter. And what I wanted to say is that really the pinned tweet really works when you get people to come and follow you on Twitter, because they usually check out what you have. They usually check out your account. They usually look at it. And this is when they see the pinned tweet. It's very similar to the pinned Facebook account, Facebook update, if you're using that one as well. It really doesn't come in the Twitter stream the way the other one doesn't really come on the Facebook newsfeed. But when somebody comes directly to your account to check it out, they will see this. If you have an image, and we're getting to the next tip, the better, because this is probably one of the reasons why this is getting so much engagement and interaction. It has an image, it's pinned to the top, and it probably speaks to people with this call to action. So idea for you, and I'll have to unpin this because this is no longer available. This is the workshop that we are in right now. I'll probably be pinning the next one for my next workshop next week that I was telling you about, and with a nice image as well, because let's be honest, we are tempted to check out stuff if they have a nice image attached to it. That's just how we work. So that was tip number 2, tip number 3, and actually tip number 4 as well, because I lumped them together. I told you I don't have much time left, and I want to give to you, this is free, but it is using your time and my time, so I want it to really, really be useful to you, and I don't want you to lose an hour of your life here with me not learning nothing. So pinned tweet, image to your tweet. It doesn't have, and by the way, you can use images anytime you want. I wouldn't overdo it to use in every tweet that I have out, because this would become like a huge list of images for your Twitter account. But from time to time, when you want to highlight something, really a great idea to use it, make it colorful so that it stands out. And the 5th tip, I'm going to summarize them all at the end so that you know. The 5th tip is about using hashtags, which I find not many of us, I am guilty of this as well. I sometimes forget to use them. But if you remember to do it and to integrate it in such a way so that it is part of your tweet, you are achieving 2 things. You use hashtags, which some people are looking for and click on and follow. So there's more opportunity for some people who don't even follow you to get to check your tweet and your blog just because you use the hashtag. The way I used here, blog, it's blogging related, and Twitter, because it's a Twitter training. So whoever is looking for Twitter, maybe I should have used even Twitter training, they will be clicking on it, maybe come and maybe check this workshop without even being my follower or knowing me yet. So this is very good to use. So I said it's good that you integrate because you're not using extra characters. So you are staying within, remember the tip already talked about for you to stay within 120 characters or so. This is important if you can. But if your tweet is shorter, you can definitely, the way I showed to you when I scheduled those, you can definitely just use them at the end. You use some, I'm just trying while I'm talking, sorry about that, to find something that has the hashtags at the end. I cannot find, I think there's many things over here. Look, this one again, the Friday inspiration. I guess it spoke to many people, and you don't necessarily see that it's been retweeted that many times and all that, because you might not be connected with the people that retweeted or sent and all that. But you will see that it is something that people liked and retweeted. So here, okay, thank God that I got to something. So you have this towards the end. See, blog tips and blog help. Those are some hashtags that I use. And for you to be able to find hashtags to use, I get this question many times, because not, or should I say, few of people that are learning from me are actually blogging about blogging. Many of you are blogging about your other interests that support your businesses as well, which are not blogging businesses. You just check out some accounts that are doing something similar as you, and look and see what hashtags they're using and try them out. See how they go. See if you seem to have more interaction when you're using those hashtags. There's things over here. So it could be if you were organizing a business, it could be declutter or organize or whatever. Just check out and see what is being used, and it's bonus for you if you can do so. I recommend you to do it for every tweet that goes out. Here are some trends over here that you can check about what people are tweeting about, the hashtags that are being using. Now, you may not be able to use any of this. I wouldn't be. It's nothing that I'm tweeting about, but I'm just saying it's another option for you to check the tweet trends. And there's also tools for you to do that. So with that, my dears, because we're just getting really close to the top of the hour, I want to thank you very, very much for being here with me and for spending this hour with me. Don't forget, questions if you have, Q&A, comments under this live broadcast won't be live. It will be a recording after the fact. But comments under here in Google Plus, comments on my Facebook page. I will pin to the top the post of today about this workshop, and I invite you to come if you maybe remember something while you're working through this afternoon or some other day, or if you're listening to this recording later. And when you get to it, you're like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Wait a minute, I don't understand what she was saying. Feel free to put that in there and to ask a question. I will get to it. I cannot promise that I'm getting to it super, super quickly, but I will get to it as soon as I can. If it's more elaborate, I will definitely either create a video or a blog post about it. It doesn't make sense for me to just answer to that one question over there. I want everybody to be able to learn from it. And if this was good enough for you, I'm really happy that you've got all that you needed from this workshop today, and you are able to just run and make your blog greater than before through Twitter. If you feel that you want to work with me a little bit deeper, check out the workshop. It's very reasonably priced. It is next Saturday, the same time, and will be a smaller group where you get to actually ask questions. So you'll be you're not going to be in listening mode only. There's going to be a bit of presentation at the beginning, about 20 minutes or so. It is 3 ingredients for your perfect social media profile, and we discuss Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. And again, it's coming with your review of any of your one of your profiles, one you choose. There's just so much learning that you can get even from what I review with other people. Last week I reviewed blog layouts, and there was just so much that other people got from the review that I did on other blogs, because they were like, oh, this applies to me as well. Thank you. And so if you're interested, there's limited spots available. Go ahead, register for that. I'll be so happy to work with you more. And again, thank you so much for spending time with me this morning. Have a great weekend all, and we'll see you. Okay, bye now.